how to use o, the object marker, in Japanese. So here we have the object marker in Japanese, o. It's written as wo, but it's pronounced as just o. And this marks the direct object in the sentence. All this means is what the verb is acting upon. And generally it's a noun that the verb acts upon. So you put the o particle after the noun that gets acted upon. Like for example, kohi o nomimasu. I drink coffee. And in those situations, you need to use a transitive verb in Japanese with the o particle. And that just means it's a verb that's done by someone. So you use the o particle with transitive verbs to express that someone is doing that action. And that action is being done upon the noun. So like in this next example, to listen to the radio, radio o kiku. And so this o particle is marking exactly what she's doing the action on. She's listening to the radio. Or let's say you're watching TV. So you're watching, miru, to look, to watch. And what are you watching? The TV. Terebi o miru. So let's say there's something you want to eat. You can mark that noun with the o particle. I want to eat watermelon. Suika o tabetai.
こんな暑い日にこそ冷たいスイカを食べたいな。
And so generally that's how you see the o particle being used, to mark the object of the sentence. And so that's pretty clear. The medicine is what they are drinking. The radio is what they listen to. The TV is what they watch. However, when the action has just happened, it's been done, and it's not clear who's done the action, it's just in some sort of state, then this is now intransitive. In this situation, you're just describing how something is, so you would use the ga particle instead. It is a little bit confusing, and I will make a video covering transitive and intransitive verbs later, so let me know if you want to see that in the comments down below. But very simply, if we have a look at this example, you should be able to see pretty clearly how it's different. I stop the car, kuruma o tomeru, versus the car stops, kuruma ga tomaru. So here we can see a verb that has its transitive and intransitive form, and we can see that the one that is clear who's doing the action is marked with the o particle. I stop the car, kuruma o tomeru. But the one that's not so clear who did the action, it's happened. In that situation, it's kuruma ga tomaru. But very simply, just remember that the o particle marks the direct object of the verb. I did an action, I stopped, and what did I stop? I stopped the car. And so you'll see the o particle used with transitive verbs when you're talking about something that someone's done, when it's clear who's done the action. The second use of the o particle is used to show the origin point of movement. Let's say, for example, you left the house. You could say ie o deta.
もう居場所がなくて。だから家を出たんだよね。
And so ie o deru is showing that you started at your house and you left it.
荷物がありませんから、先に家を出たようですわね。
Or 学校を出る leaving school.
三越葉くんたちと一緒に学校を出ると、遊びのお金を払わされるんだって。
In this situation, deru is actually an intransitive verb, so it doesn't follow the previous rules we talked about when talking about the direct object of a verb. Here it's a little bit different. And the third use of the o particle is used when showing some sort of movement through something. Like for example, I went through the middle of the path. Michi no mannaka o totta. So I went through the path. This usage has this feeling of kind of a movement through something.
この道を通るのも3年ぶりか。懐かしいな。
One thing to pay attention to with this o particle is that it has this feeling of almost like movement through something. And so let's say, for example, you wanted to say that you walked through town or you walked through the room. You would need to use the o particle to mark what you walk through. Whereas if you were to use something like the det particle that marks the place of action, that's more like at. And that's not really a natural way of expressing where you went for a walk. Normally you'd use the o particle to express going through something. Like here, going for a walk through town.
久しぶりに街を歩くと気分がいいわね。
Or like for example in this funny clip from Metal Gear Solid 2, he's running through the surface of the water. If you'd like to see a more clear explanation of the differences between the ni, de, and o particle, then check out this video that I've made that goes through exactly the differences and how the nuance can change in a sentence when you use one or the other. Because sometimes in a sentence, it is grammatically correct to use either or, but when you use one or the other, it changes the nuance, the feel of the sentence. Like, for example, you walk through town. And you may actually sometimes even see the verb dropped, and so the sentence just ends in the o particle. This is perhaps because everybody knows what the following part is, so it kind of gets cut off, perhaps for some sort of catchy saying or some sort of well wishes. Like, for example, you could say, have a good year. Oh. Have a good day. Or even may the force be with you.
フォースと共にあらんことを。
ラジオを聞く方が好きかな。薬を飲まないとね。
冷たいスイカを食べたいな。
だから家を出たんだよね。
この道を通るのも3年ぶりか。懐かしいな。
良い一日を。
毎朝コーヒーを飲む。YouTube を見る。家に行く。公園を歩く。ゲームが好き。テレビを見る。
そこのテレビを見てみろ。
水を飲みたい。
水を飲みたい。So hopefully that video has helped you get a little bit more of a stronger feel for how to use the o direct object marker in Japanese. The most common way you'll see it used is to mark directly the object of the action. That one's pretty straightforward. What someone eats, what someone listens to, what someone watches. And there is a little bit more trickier usage with things like the starting point, you leave home, or you leave school, as well as showing movement through something. You go through town, you run through the surface of the water. But hopefully with these examples, it's helped give you a little bit clearer idea of how this particle is used. Thanks so much guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, a comment, maybe try practicing the OR particle yourself. And if you want to help support the channel, then come join us on the Game Genku Discord, either directly through the website or through Patreon. You can get all kinds of perks like help with your Japanese, as well as just hanging out directly with me and people of the community. We sometimes do streams, sometimes just hang out and chat. So feel free to come join us if you want to help support the channel. Thanks so much for watching guys, and as always, I'll see you again in the next video. Hope you're having fun learning Japanese. See you guys.